Now I'm going to go ahead and check in my results. Now, since I've been doing some navigating around here, it looks like the two calculations or the two data references, the table lookup and the table lookup and that mass calculation, it looks like they've upgraded or updated already. If on your example they don't update right away, you can just select the element, do a right click on it, and choose refresh. And that will go ahead and force those to update. So if you notice the density, that was the table lookup. The density is going out and pulling from that table appropriately. So if we look at the library, under tables, the density for HC 1500 is 3422. And that's the appropriate density that's being retrieved. Now maybe it's belaboring the obvious, but let me show you what happens if you had chosen a different product. So for example, let's go back to this library here. Let's look at product WX1200. If for this tank I had chosen that WX1200 for the product, then we would have retrieved a different density. So I'll go ahead and select that or enter that. I'll go ahead and refresh this and watch this density right here. That should change. Now, as you can see, the density's changed, in response to the table lookup, and that in turn changed the mass. So let me change this back. Now, this was HC 1500. So that part of it worked. The table lookup is working just fine. We'll go ahead and check this back in. We'll go ahead and refresh it. There we go. And now the mass is also being calculated properly. The mass is simply the volume times the density. So if we take a look at this V for volume here and D for density, that's where we're coming up with this mass. Now I should also point out that any conversion that's required, any of the conversion of the units that's required in this calculation is being done automatically. So that's the exercise. Now it's not really part of the exercise, it's not built into it, but one of the other things you can do once you've created an element like this is you can make use of this in the client products. So for example, this is a copy of Pi Process Book, and I can use the make this a little bigger there. I can create a brand new display, for example, and then make use of that element on that brand new display. I'm going to go into build mode, and from here I can find that that AF database that I just created. Mine was called my AFDB JDO, and here's tank A. Now it is not currently associated with any icons or images, so when I drag and drop this, what you'll see is no specific user selected icon. But if we go into the attributes, and here's the attributes right here, I can click and drag and drop these on top of that, and that becomes associated with this icon. So, and it moves around with it, etc. So as you can see, the asset data, or AF, is meant to be an asset database that gives you a different view, a way of hanging things off of assets, things like pi tags, relational database information, calculations, etc. And then those results can be used in a variety of places. Now in this case, we've only seen two. We've seen the process book display briefly. We've also seen the Pi System Explorer. But eventually all of our clients will support this, and in addition to things like our server-based notifications. Also, as I said, you have the option to compare your work against the solution if you're working on the Learning Lab online. So just take a look at solution my AFDB JDO. You should see a tank. It looks very similar and has the same numbers as what you've just created.